2's current value, which is a 1. So it's 44/8 times 1 gives us 44/8. So when I add these two things here together, I'm going to get a 0 here. Okay. What goes in here, okay, what goes in here is row 3's current value, which is 68 divided by 8. Okay. Okay. 68 divided by 8. Okay. Plus 44/8 times row 2. So it's plus 44 divided by 8 times row 2's value, which is a 2, which gives us a value of 39 halves. Okay, so that's good. What goes in here, okay, is row 3's current value, which is minus a half, plus 44/8 of row 2's value, which is 44/8 times 0, which is 0. So we have minus a half, okay, plus 44/8 times 0, which is 0, which gives us minus a half. Okay. What goes in here is row 3's current value, which is a 0, plus 44/8 of row 2's value. Now row 2's value is a 1, so 44/8 of 1 is 44/8. And row 3's value is a 0, so it's 0 plus 44/8 gives us 44/8. Okay. And what goes in here is row 3's current value, plus 44/8 of row 2. Now row 2 is a 0 at this position, so it's 44/8 times 0 is 0, and row 3 is a 1. Okay, so it's 1 plus 0 gives us a 1. Okay, and we continue in this particular fashion. Okay, so now that we've converted everything below the second pivot to a 0, we proceed onto the third row, the third entry, and we convert this particular entry, which is here, into a 1. Now, how do I convert 39 halves into a 1? Well, I multiply it by 2 39ths. So actually what I'm going to say is this, is that row 3 is going to become row 3's current value multiplied by 2 39ths. Okay? So let's see what happens here. So don't forget, row 1 and row 2 remain the same. So it's 1 minus 3/8 minus 5/8. Okay? It's an eighth. It's a 0. It's a 0. Row 2 remains the same. 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, 0. Okay? And row 3 gets updated. So every value along row 3 gets multiplied by 2 39ths. So 0 times 2 39ths times 0 is 0. 2 39ths times 0 is 0. 2 39ths times 39 halves is 1. Okay? And what we're going to have here now is 2 39ths times a half, yeah, which is actually times minus a half is minus 1 39th. Okay? 44/8, which is this value, so 2 39ths times 44/8. Well, let's see what the calculator says that is. Okay, so we have 2 divided by 39. Okay, 2 divided by 39. Okay, multiplied by 44/8. So 44 divided by 8. Okay, gives us a value of 11 39ths. So this becomes 11 39ths. And what about this value here? Well, this value is going to become 2 39ths times 1 is 2 39ths. Okay, if that makes sense. Okay. So now what we've done is we've converted this particular matrix. The main diagonal now has all leading ones, and everything below the main diagonals is zeros. So now what we do is we proceed to convert these values here into zeros. And what I'm going to start with is I'm going to start with this value here as a 2, and I'm going to convert that to a 0. How am I going to do that? Well, look, if I take row 3, okay, this is row 1, row 2, row 3. If I take row 3, 2 times row 3 away from row 2, this will become a 0. And these two values will be unaffected because I'll be subtracting a 0 from them, which won't change them. So let's do that. So maybe what I'll do here is I'm just going to fold this over here, okay, so that we can actually see what's going on. Okay. Let me just fold this over here, and let me just actually start here again. Okay. So the matrix that I have is this matrix here, and as I said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to update row 2, okay, to be row 2's current value minus twice row 3's values. Okay. So row 2 is changing, but row 1 and row 3 are remaining the same. So row 1 is 1 minus 3/8. It's minus 5/8. Okay. It's an eighth. It's 0. It's 0. Okay. Row 2 was what we're going to update now in a moment, but row 3 remains the same. It's 0, 0, 1. It's minus 1 39th. It's 11/39, and it's 2/39. Okay? So row 2 gets updated. Row 2 is going to be row 2's current values, okay, minus twice row 3. So it's 0 minus twice 0 gives us a 0. What goes in here is, okay, row 2's value, which is a 1, minus twice row 3. So it's a 1 minus 2 times 0 gives us a 1. What goes in here is row 2's current value, which is a 2, minus twice row 3's value. So it's 2 minus twice 1 gives us a 0. What goes in here is row 2's current value, which is a 0, minus twice row 3's value.